I think the first thing we have to talk about is last night's game. I mean, it was something that we didn't expect. I feel like I learned a lot personally about both teams going into it. What did you guys end up learning?
I think I'm still standing by my hot take of the Vikings potentially making it further than we thought they would. The 49ers are supposed to be the best team in the NFL functioning at high levels, and they allowed the 2-4 Vikings to take over the game and control the ball. Ultimately, I mean, they did start a little bit of a comeback, but it was a struggle fest the entire game with the 49ers. I don't know if they were getting ahead of themselves thinking, oh, this is a 2-4 team or what, but Kirk Cousins and those Minnesota Vikings, they brought it. They ran hard at all levels, whether it was the run game, the pass game. They came ready to play.
No, I agree. But I would say the 49ers offense didn't struggle for most of the game. Whenever they came out, they were driving down the field. We had some costly mistakes in the first quarter that kind of set us down the momentum of the game. But I think who played the worst of the 49ers was our defense. I mean, I'm not going to say our D line. Our D line definitely got some pressure, but Kirk Cousins was just
0 sacks.
Was just slicing us up.
Got pressure.
And I think our biggest problem was our secondary was horrendous last night. And I think that's what the 49ers definitely need more work on is their secondary. I think our defensive play calling wasn't great from Steve Wilks. Fred Warner still played amazing. Our linebacking group still played good. Our D-line played all right. But our secondary I think our secondary lost us that game. We were just getting chewed up no Justin Jefferson. Mario Addison was chewing us up. T.J. Hawkinson was having a good game. So, but I think our secondary is what lost the game. And I think our mistakes in the first quarter. And I'm not gonna put a lot of blame on Brock Purdy. I mean, he did kind of choke the game away at the end, but he had a great first three quarters with no Trent Williams on a heavy blitzing team of the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he had a lot more pressure on him the whole entire game. In the first three quarters, he was still delivering the ball with some accuracy down the field, and with no Deebo Samuel. And I feel like he did great the first three quarters, and then he just digressed in that fourth quarter. I think the pressure got to him on a primetime game, and with the blitz coming at him, I think that's what. Then he finally choked the ball away, but I think that's why the 49ers lost.
Well, you may not want to throw him under the bus, but I will. Not that he played completely bad. Like you said, most time he played fine. He did have a few key big mistakes, being interceptions. And then the only other thing I really have to say about it was 49ers did it. Yes, they got pressure. Wasn't as much as I expected. Excuse me. But yes, mainly Bosa, but they still got a lot of pressure. Main thing is Kirk Cousins just was throwing his passes very quickly. So yeah, that did help. But yeah,
that's how you beat the pressure.
Mm-hmm. They still got pressure. No sacks though. And then Brock Purdy made a few key mistakes. That's really all I have to say about it.
That's basically what I told you the fourth quarter is he played bad in the fourth quarter, and that's where he threw the 2 interceptions. So, but I mean, the secondary. I mean, our secondary letting up the passes is what allows Kirk Cousins to throw the ball quick out of the pocket and not get our defense sacks. So I think that's why I said our secondary is what was causing the defense the most trouble.
I mean, I think we're forgetting that Kirk Cousins, at least statistically, is a top 10 quarterback every year. Right? Does he get the credit? Yeah, sometimes. Some people give him credit for it. He does have, he always seems to have great talent around him, which obviously helps. But this week he was without Justin Jefferson, who I think is the best receiver in the league, and I think Jordan Addison, like you said, played well. I think it was other guys that also played great though. Hawkinson had a good game. Powell, do you guys even know who Powell is for the Vikings? Had a good game.
Yep, never heard of him.
Had a good game. I think Kirk was definitely under pressure, but he did get sacked 0 times. I think Kirk, he made a statement. He played. He made a
Don't get me
statement.
wrong. Kirk Cousins played a phenomenal game last night.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, dude. He played a great game.
Absolutely.
Like he was on top. He looked like Tom Brady out there.
Okay, well, hold on, hold on a little second there. No, but I think that this Vikings team is better than what their record shows, and as they get this win, obviously it's going to look a bit better. But I feel like this Vikings team has a chance for the playoffs. Their division is weak outside of the Lions, of course. I think this is a team that could sneak into the playoffs, and I don't know if they're going to go anywhere if they get there. But they're not a bad team. Their record didn't really show what the kind of talent they have. Danielle Hunter is an absolute monster. He leads the league in sacks. He also leads the league in tackles for loss. He's a monster. So we talk about guys like T.J. Watt, who is phenomenal. Guys like Myles Garrett, who is phenomenal. Danielle Hunter is the guy that's leading in sacks and tackles for loss. Let's not forget, he is also a game wrecker. He's up there. Their defense is not great, and I was kind of surprised to see Brock Purdy not play so great, especially in the fourth. Obviously, he wasn't bad, like you said. He wasn't bad quarters 1 through 3. He is without Debo. Obviously, the McCaffrey fumble early on didn't help very much. They were driving, and then he fumbled.
Trent Williams too. I mean, he had pressure on him. They're definitely on a team that blitzes as much as the Vikings do.
But we've seen this from Brock Purdy. He's a poised quarterback. He usually does pretty good under pressure. Even on the picks, I wouldn't say it was him rushing. I mean, it was just bad decision making. I don't think that was the pressure getting to him. I think he just was throwing a pass.
No. Yeah, no. I agree. It was definitely. It was. I think the pressure of the game,
Yeah,
making the bad read. It wasn't the pressure of the guys on his back. It was the pressure of I gotta get down the field, and he's a young guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's his second year in the NFL. He hasn't even played a full season as the starter of a team, and I think this is something he'll learn from. I think neither team proved anything, to be honest with me. I don't think either. I think my opinion on the Vikings is the exact same. I think they're a team that it was underrated each week, and I think the Niners, I won't say they're overrated, but I think the Niners have some stuff they need to work out, especially the secondary. I agree with the secondary. Charvarius Ward should not have gotten that ball ripped from him by Jordan Addison, and I guess he got a pick similar like that early on in the game too. But yeah, they were fighting all game, and I thought it was good.
Yeah, I've got to be on the other side of the fence. I think the Vikings prove that they are more than what meets the eye.
Well, and I think that's a fair take, but in my opinion of the Vikings was just different than I think a lot of people's. I think they were being underrated because they were losing games, close games, to teams that maybe they probably should have beat.
Right.
But I think they'll be fine going throughout the year. And like I said, their division is not the greatest. They have the Bears, who obviously, I mean, they got to win, but they're not going to go nowhere. And then they have the Packers, who didn't look too great, and then they had the Lions, who I think the Lions will bounce back after their game. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit at least. But the Lions will be fine. I think it's really a 2-team race in that division. I think the Lions probably will win it. But the Vikings, depending on their record, depending on the schedule, it could be close.